Well, we're coming back on the air here for, unfortunately, a tornado warning for portions of Martin County here, especially near Williamston. So we will zoom in. Lots of lightning with this storm, and we'll take our graphics full. If you're seeing the lightning here and the rain, take shelter now. You're going to want to get into that centermost portion of your home and watch out for windows. Away from windows is going to be important. We're going to zoom in here a little bit. Again, portions of Martin County. This is a tornado warning that is in place just to the 12 miles west right now near Robertsonville of Williamston, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So it's not really booking it, but again, generally moving in the eastern direction. And it was just issued, and it goes until 5:45, which is 30 minutes here away, and we will keep an eye out for a rotation. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, see if we can find any layers of rotation right now near that Wilming or Hamilton area, excuse me, moving east at 20 miles per hour. So downwind, that would be along that 13 corridor between Windsor and Williamston. And I'll put it a little bit on motion here. You can see that general direction. As it continues to move to the east at 20 miles per hour here, we'll put up some timing here. Ballard, Grabtown, again, portions of Martin, Bertie County, moving east. So Washington and Beaufort County, keep an eye out as well. We will put on those warning polygons. Again, I'll turn off the lightning. Again, if you're just joining us, we're tracking a tornado warning for portions of Martin County until 5:45 p.m. And there is a polygon still in portions of all of Martin County, and then even northern Pitt County. You could see some damaging winds out of this as well. So if you are under that polygon, if you got that alert, if you're in that red square there, again, take shelter. We can pull up a few tips here for you. Anywhere away from windows is the primary concern. You're going to want to find a bathroom, a hallway, a basement preferably, but you could see anywhere outside is a no-go. You're going to want to find that centermost place. Could be stairs, a bathroom, hallway, or a basement. You could even grab something like a pillow, a helmet, or some bedding that could help protect you from any potentially flying debris. But again, if you're just joining us, we are tracking a tornado warning until 5:45 for portions of Martin County. Beargrass, just to the north of Beargrass, Williamston, and the rotation itself is moving east around 20 miles per hour. And that 13 corridor, be on the lookout here over the next 30 minutes, 30 minutes, as that heads your direction, anywhere between Windsor and Williamston. I will turn off the lightning here so you can get a better idea as to where that, better idea as to where that polygon is. If you're outside of that red polygon, that tornado warning, still seek shelter. You could experience some damaging winds, frequent lightning, and certainly go indoors here. But again, we are tracking a tornado warning for portions of Martin County, heading east around 20 miles per hour, heading towards possibly Washington County, northern Beaufort County as well. So lots of lightning with this storm. If you are seeing lots of lightning around that north of 264, it is better to just go inside and seek shelter. The tornado warning was issued about 5 minutes ago. If you're just joining us, it does go until 5:45 p.m. here. And I'm going to bring up a rotation graphic, see if we could spot where the areas of rotation. There is some heavy winds regardless around the Hamilton area, and slight rotation there, but it looks like the tornado warned storm is along that 64 corridor, Robertsonville, heading over towards Everett. And like I said, anywhere from Williamston down to Windsor, keep an eye out. Or up to Windsor, keep an eye out for the potential of these damaging winds. And there is a tornado warning. I'll turn off the lightning and the radar real quick so you can see the highlighted areas of Martin County and even northern Pitt County, just north of that 30 corridor, heading up towards Robertsonville. Right now, that rotation looks to be near or over Robertsonville. So if you live, again, anywhere near Robertsonville to the northwest of Beargrass, please go indoors, seek shelter for a potential tornado. And we do have a warning here until 5:45 p.m. So regardless, if you're not in that warning, the red warning, that tornado warning, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Pitt County and Martin County and even up towards Washington County until 5:45 p.m. as well. And that could bring gusty, damaging winds. So please seek shelter here. If you're a part of that tornado warning, you're going to want to get into the centermost portion of your house. It could be a bathroom, it could be a hallway, it could be a stairway, and you could even grab something to protect yourself from potentially flying debris. But again, I'll turn off the lightning here. You can see we were tracking heavy rain, and I will zoom out real quick just to our entire viewing area, seeing what else we are tracking. So again, there is that tornado warning for portions of Martin County, heading up towards Bertie and Washington County possibly as well. Rest of the area, as of right now, looks fairly dry. There we are tracking a shower with some gusty winds possible heading up towards north of 70, north of New Bern, up towards Vanceboro potentially here. But again, right now we're keeping our eyes on a tornado warning for portions of Martin County until 5:45 p.m. It is moving east around 20 miles per hour, so we'll put this in motion. You can see it's not a quick moving storm, and another potential with this is if you've seen heavy rain this afternoon or even over the past couple days, any heavy rain could potentially cause ponding of the roadways. So if you are in either of those warnings, please just go inside, seek shelter here. I'll put a cone on so we could see some downwind locations potentially to this, moving around 20 miles per hour to the east. So places near Everett, again, Williamston, even up towards Windsor, keep an eye out for this warning. Have your volume on your TV turned up or bring your phone with you, and continue to have a way to get alerts. Even for all of eastern North Carolina, have a way to get alerted here this evening. We do have a tornado watch. I'll quickly bring that up for all of eastern North Carolina until 11 p.m. What we're going to be tracking is just these pop-up showers anywhere. Not everybody will see a storm, but if you do see a storm, they could be severe, bring lots of lightning, wind, even hail, and even a spin-up tornado, which is what we're tracking right now. If you're just joining us, we're tracking a tornado warning in portions of Martin County until 5:45 p.m. north of 264, anywhere along that 64 corridor. Definitely seek shelter and go indoors. Lots of lightning with this. I'll turn off the lightning. You could see heavy rain that's just continuing to intensify. And when I do look at the rotation, it was near Robertsonville, moving along pretty much east of that 64 corridor, heading pretty much towards Williamston's direction within the next, say, 15-20 minutes. But if you are in that polygon, I'll turn that on here again for you. If you're in anywhere of that red polygon tornado warning, go indoors, seek shelter. You're going to want to go away, anywhere away from windows, even if you're in those two severe thunderstorm warnings as well for portions of northern Pitt and Bertie County as well. But right now, the tornado warning is just for Martin County, looking for rotation. Still, again, not moving too fast, but still almost overhead. Robertsonville moving to the east, so now places downwind along that 64 corridor could impact places along 17 like Williamston. We'll show up a few road names here. Everett's Road, Everett, again, Sam Everett Road, anywhere along that 64 corridor and US 13. So gusty winds possible within any of these storms, even if you're outside of that tornado warning. Martin County as well. If you see the lightning, hear the thunder, definitely go indoors and seek shelter. I will bring out a quick view of the tornado warning and a broad view of the DMA, our viewing area. You can see that's the only storm warning that we're tracking right now, but we're going to be keeping an eye out for any storms continuing to pop up, especially if you have seen or are even currently seeing the sunshine. I'll quickly bring on the visible satellite here. You can see the dark shaded areas are areas of more sunshine getting through. So right now, Onslow County, Duplin County, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll see a storm, but if a storm does pop up, it could be severe. And we do have that tornado watch through 11 p.m. tonight. If you're just joining us, we are tracking a tornado warning until 5:45 p.m. That's 20 minutes from now in portions of Martin County, moving east generally around 20 miles per hour. And I'll turn on the rotation couplet here, still showing good rotation just to the east now of Robertsonville along that 64 corridor, heading towards Williamston. If you were downstream of this, Williamston, Everett, even Beargrass, north of Beargrass, please have a way to get indoors, continue to get alerts here throughout the rest of the evening, but especially over the next 20 minutes while this tornado warning exists. So regardless, there is a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Right now, Bertie County, Windsor, heading up the or just east of the 95 corridor. If you're in that severe thunderstorm warning, go to shelter anyways, even if you're not in that tornado warning. Damaging winds are possible within any of these. Frequent lightning as well, so away from windows will be your best bet. And if we could bring up a few graphics here to show you some tips. Again, if you're just joining us, we are tracking a tornado warning until 5:45 p.m. for Martin County, especially right now east of Robertsonville, that 64 corridor. But if you are under that tornado warning, if you got the alert, please go indoors. Stairway, hallway, bathroom, away from windows is the most important thing. Certainly nothing outside like a deck or anything near windows. And also, if you have a blanket or pillows or even a helmet, could protect you from potentially flying debris if damaging wind does impact your home. But if you are just joining us, we are continuing to track a tornado warning for portions of Martin County. Right now, we're keeping an eye towards Everett and Williamston is where that rotation is somewhat continuing to drift towards, but anywhere in that tornado warning and even the severe thunderstorm warning have a way to get alerts. We're still seeing some good rotation with this as well, and I'll zoom out just a little bit and I will show you which direction it's generally heading. Again, generally to the east along that 64 corridor heading up towards Williamston, even up towards Windsor. You could potentially see that as well in Bertie County. Downstream a little bit further this evening, if this storm continues to keep going, places like Edenton, the Albemarle Sound counties, Washington, we'll have to keep an eye out for this storm or any other storms that continue to form. We're going to pull out to our entire viewing area here. As of right now, nothing else other than this storm in Martin County, and right now it's quiet, but there is still a potential for other storms sparking up, and any storms that do spark up, especially if you've seen some sunshine here over the past couple hours, that could be severe as well, bringing damaging winds, hail, lightning, and even potentially flooding of the roadways. I'm going to zoom back in again just towards Martin County, Bertie County. You could see the red polygon area. I'll turn off the lightning, and you could see, I'll even turn off the radar here just to get a better idea of where those warnings are at. The red polygon is that tornado warning. That goes until 5:45 p.m. for portions of Martin County. Downstream, Beargrass, north of Beargrass along the 65 corridor. I'll put on the rotation product again here. Our relative velocity still showing a good tight couplet along that 65 corridor. It did move through Robertsonville, so hopefully everybody's doing okay there. Still stay in your safe place until that warning has expired or has been canceled for your location. Still tracking a rotation couplet, again, moving to the east around 20 miles per hour. So Everett's right now, please have your safe place ready. Be indoors, go to that hallway, bathroom, staircase. It's pretty much riding along that 64 corridor, and then downstream here in about another 10, 15 minutes, places like Williamston along the 17 corridor just to the north of Beargrass as well. But regardless, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Pitt County up towards Bertie as well, Plymouth. And if you are going to be seeing this storm, even if you're out of that tornado warning, damaging winds are possible. And that severe thunderstorm warning, the yellow boxes, go until 5:45 p.m. as well. And of course, we'll let you know if any of these are extended or expired. There is going to I'm just getting some new information here. The dangerous storm will be near Williamston around 5:30 p.m. I'm just looking to see if they have continued or expanded the time on this tornado warning. As of right now, it still only goes to 5:45 p.m. and that is what it's looking like it is still going to. But however, if you live anywhere near the Martin County area, Bertie County, please be in your safe place. And I just want to keep an eye out on this rotation couplet, seeing where it is exactly right now. So it did move through Robertsonville. Everett's is the place right now to be on the lookout. Anywhere around Everett's, if you are hearing the thunder, please go indoors. And downstream, now in about 10, 15 minutes, we're keeping an eye out for Williamston, even in the next 5 minutes, could start seeing those damaging wind gusts here. Moving up now towards Williamston and anywhere along that 17 corridor in Martin County, again, is the place where you're going to want to have your safe place handy. Lots of lightning with this storm. I will turn that off. You can see we're also tracking heavy rain within these as well, all the way up towards Bertie County and Windsor as well. If you are under that thunderstorm warning, even if you're not in the tornado warning, have a way to get alerts and be indoors away from windows. Going to pull out here since storms are really just sparking up. That's going to be the key here. Watching one now just to the west of that 95 corridor. You can see how much of it's in its infancy stage. I did not mean to zoom in there, but you could see just around outside of our viewing area, but it's usually what this starts like, a small shower or storm, and it grows into something like this, like what we're seeing here in Bertie and Martin County, and that's what we'll keep an eye out for. Anything of the remainder of the evening, storms that spark up. Not everybody will see one, but everybody should have a way to get alerts through at least midnight tonight, and especially through the sunset hours. If you're just joining us, we're continuing to track a tornado warning for portions of Martin County until 5:45 p.m. It did potentially move through Robertsonville. Don't have any concrete evidence that there was a tornado on the ground, but definitely some strong winds. If you live in Robertsonville, please let us know if you're okay and what you heard or what you may have saw. 64 corridor right now heading up right over Everett potentially right now. So if you live anywhere near Everett, south of Ballard, again, that 64 corridor is where you're going to want to be in your safe place if you're in that tornado warning. And then we're keeping an eye in the next few minutes. Williamston, right in the intersection of that 17 corridor in Martin County, is the next. It's on your doorstep. Right now, this recent radar image shows a slightly weakening rotation couplet, but obviously you can still see that couplet is still there. And we'll continue to keep you updated. And the tornado warning, regardless, still goes until 5:45 p.m. Excuse me here while I look at a little bit of information to see if there's any updates. It does look like this storm is potentially speeding up a little bit. It was initially moving east around 20 miles per hour, now moving east around 35 miles per hour. And I do just want to put a cone on here to see who is downwind. Again, Williamston, Everett's right now possibly over Everett, and Williamston, anywhere around there, please be in your safe place, and that is on your doorstep. And if it is moving to the east around 35 miles per hour, places downwind are going to be places like Jamesville, Plymouth, Roper, and Washington County. Northern Beaufort, keep an eye out for this as well. And even in Bertie County, where you're seeing lots of lightning and that heavy rain, gusty, damaging winds are possible. So if we could pull up a few tips here in terms of what you can do to be safe while you're under this warning, please, you can go into your centermost area of the home. If you have a basement, that is the preferred location. But if you don't, I know many of us don't here in Eastern Carolina, a hallway, a bathroom, a closet, stairway, anything away from windows. If you, bedroom won't really work. You usually have windows there. A deck, anything outside is a no-go. But you can see those green highlighted areas is an acceptable place to stay safe as well. Centermost part of your house, and you can even grab blankets, pillows, a helmet, nothing wrong with that, to protect yourself from potentially flying debris. And of course, we want to keep you updated. Turn your volume up on your TV, or have that weather app with you, or have that, hopefully you have a weather radio to keep updated here. This warning goes until 5:45 p.m. I am continuing to try and look to see any updated information from the National Weather Service. And right now, still until 5:45 p.m. It is 5:33 p.m. right now. I'm going to turn on the rotation couplet to see if we can still see an area of defined rotation. And again, Robertsonville, there was a good rotation couplet over that area. Everett, somewhat now moving out of Everett, and Williamston, anywhere along the 64-17 intersection, please have a way to get alerts here, or please have a way to go indoors and get to your safe place. You are under that tornado warning here until 5:45 p.m. And it does look like they have just started to shift it a little bit east here for places like Jamesville, now looking towards the areas east of 17 and places like Washington County, Martin County as well. But I will turn off the lightning. Lots of lightning with this storm. If you're hearing the thunder, just go indoors, be in your safe place. Lots of lightning. I'll turn that off so you can see the heavy rain with this as well. And easier, I'll turn off the radar real quick just so you can see the polygons that we are tracking. If you live anywhere in this polygon, please be in your safe place. But right now, primary focus is going to be places like Williamston and right around Williamston and south of Windsor. Downstream, places like Plymouth, Jamesville and stuff. We will continue to keep you updated for this. The warning goes until 5:45 p.m. I am trying to keep an eye out here if they have extended the timing on this warning. I'm not seeing that right now, but we are continuing to track a tornado warning for portions of Martin County until 5:45 p.m. The storm started around 5:15, and there was a tornado warning, a part of the same complex outside of Martin and Bertie County in Edgecombe. County as well earlier this afternoon. But as you've seen, anytime any storms are around this evening, they could spark up a brief spin-up tornado. And right now, again, we are tracking this rotation couplet now directly overhead Williamston. Be in your safe place, be in away from windows north of Beargrass. That 1764 intersection is where this potentially dangerous wind is. And east of it, I do want to see areas downstream, Jamesville, Plymouth, going to be a little bit downstream, and if it continues to weaken, that's good. But regardless, have a way to be prepared now and have a way to be in your safe spot. So moving around 35 miles per hour to the east, so it has sped up a little bit. So places downstream now, Washington County, areas east of 17, northern Beaufort County, also have a way to get to your safe place. Places downstream right now would be Jamesville, Dardens, Plymouth, Roper, Skinnersville. So again, if you are under the tornado warning, please be in your safe place. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings in portions of Bertie and Martin County right now. So even if you're not in that tornado warning, if you're hearing the thunder, go indoors and be sure to just heed the warnings here for the rest of the evening. I do want to quickly zoom out to see the rest of the viewing area. These storms continue to somewhat update on a minute-by-minute basis. They usually start out in an infancy stage. We are good right now. That is the only complex of storms we're tracking in Martin County right now, but everywhere else, mostly dry. But for the rest of the evening, especially how much sunshine you've seen, that could allow storms to continue to spark up, starting off as small showers and typically growing into a strong thunderstorm here potentially. So we will continue to keep an eye out. If you're just joining us, we do have a tornado warning for portions of Martin County until 5:45 p.m. Moving to the east at 35 miles per hour, so it's sped up a little bit here. I do want to zoom in more into Martin County. I will turn off the lightning so you can see a better idea as to where those warning polygons are. And Williamston is essentially, it's right over Williamston right now, potentially. If you are around Williamston, be in your safe place. And now we're going to be keeping an eye out towards areas west of east of Williamston, places like Roper and Plymouth, northern Beaufort County even, and Washington County. And of course, eastern Martin County is who we're checking out on now. So anywhere along that 64 corridor, it's essentially ever since Robertsonville has been riding along that 64 corridor. So places along that 64 corridor will continue to keep an eye out for a potential tornado. I'm keeping an eye out here for any updated information. Still goes until 5:45 p.m. And there is still a rotation couplet. It has somewhat broadened a little bit, but that doesn't matter regardless. You are under that tornado warning until 5:45 p.m. and we will continue to track this for you. But places downwind, Jamesville, Roper, have a way to get alerts here. It is speeding up a little bit as it moves to the east around 35 miles per hour. So we were tracking this couplet over Robertsonville, then Everett, now Williamston, and now pretty much still along that 64 corridor. And Donnie Cox, Chief Meteorologist Donnie Cox, is here to continue to update us and let us know potentially who we're going to continue to keep under this warning.
And of course, we'll continue to track this. This is like we've been talking about the past couple of days in places like Texas and Oklahoma and Kentucky. What we have are areas with those storms that popped up as such, and as you can see, that is what we are most concerned now. This one storm, as you can see right now, near Wildcat Road, Garrett Road, also as you make your way up Highway 17, especially toward Williamston, and you can see that this is the area where the radar is indicating the potential for a tornado from this thunderstorm that did develop, capable of producing a thunderstorm. Mainly it's just for Martin County at this particular point. Again, you can see what we're looking at here, Jamesville, Dardens, also into Henson and Hoke. You can expect to see this in the next little bit. Now back out and show you what we are looking at as far as the overall picture. And again, you can see all of the lightning associated with that. Let's turn that lightning off so you can get a better look here at what we're seeing. And again, the trailing edges now, as you can see, just west of Williamston, but Williamston still included in that tornado warning over to near Beargrass and And then the tornado warning even extends a little more to the west. But again, what you're looking at here, the potential for this area back to the west to be quieting down a bit, but still severe weather in the neighborhood. And therefore, you do have that severe thunderstorm warning as well as the tornado warning. Again, the tornado warning runs until 5:45. Severe thunderstorm warning for parts of the area there you can see until 6:30. So we will continue to see that we do have that particular area that we're keeping an eye on. But what we are expecting as we go through the evening to see the possibility of some more of these storms popping up. You can see right now the main concentration has just been to the northern parts of the viewing area, and we'll continue to track those. But again, we do have the severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, so the tornado warning does run until 5:45, and it's for Martin County. So if you're in Martin County, be sure to take your cover immediately. In the places around Williamston is the most likely area for the storms right now, and what we're expecting to see as this pushes off to the east for the conditions to deteriorate as you make your way a little more to the east. Again, you can see Williamston to points east toward Jamesville. As you head to the east, you can see that we do have Fred Hardison Road there. Also in the Holly Springs Church Road, Frank Barber and Island Road is what we're looking at there, East Boulevard. Also the Middle Track Road. Those are areas where we do have the biggest concern right now with this area pushing to the east. But again, in and around Williamston, that is the target for the potential tornado at the moment. But again, the radar indicated tornado was indicated by this severe thunderstorm until 5:45 is what we're expecting. But again, we do expect to see this to continue to be a problem even as it moves to the east at this point. And again, you can see those areas off to the east as you make your way into Jamesville along Highway 64, making it over toward the areas of Plymouth. You're going to see this roll through in the next little bit. And also for those of you up in and around Bertie County, you can see quite a thunderstorm going on for you as well. Therefore, you have the severe thunderstorm watch, or warning, I should say, that continues until 6:30. The tornado warning until 5:45. In this particular area that we are tracking once again for the potential. This remains in effect until 5:45, mainly for Martin County, but again, just in the outskirts of this storm, keep in mind that the potential is there for a tornado as the thunderstorm capable of producing that. And I'm going to show you one more time what we're looking at here. And again, this is the areas for the potential storm. You can see it has weakened a lot, Grant, but still the potential marker is still there as we get down toward Williamston. It's broadened out a little bit. It's a better way, I guess, to put that. But again, that is something that we'll be keeping, and that means places like Jamesville and Plymouth and Roper. And as you make your way even over toward north of Old Ford, if you're headed on 171 from Old Ford up to Jamesville, you're going to run into this, or from Old Ford on up to Williamston on 17. So you're going to see that as a potential as we go through the next few minutes. And we're coming up on 5:44, which indicates that we are getting close to the expiration time, but we are keeping an eye for the potential of extending this with that marker still there. And that's one of the things that we look at is the opposing colors, the brighter greens, the brighter reds. That indicates that couplet that we certainly want to keep an eye on in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, we were seeing a very good couplet around Robertsonville, and it's been pretty much riding along the 64 corridor coming out of Williamston now, and anywhere along that 1764 intersection. It has brought in still a bit of a couplet here. We just had another warning go off. It may have been extended. We'll just pull out the radar here again, and yes, it does look like a storm behind that one is starting to pick up a rotation as well. So we are just going to continue to keep an eye out for the areas north of 264. Again, now we're seeing Martin County again, all of it almost under that new tornado warning.
And Washington County as well now included in that, as you can see, extending to the east over towards Skinnersville.
And we're seeing a new warning here. We're going to pull up that velocity couplet. and it goes until 6:15 p.m. So this has been extended for another 30 minutes here. Right now we're tracking that tornado warning in eastern Martin County for east of Williamston along the 64 corridor, and that other storm that we're continuing to track as well. But regardless, if you live anywhere near this severe storm, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Martin per T, and now heading into Washington County, northern Beaufort. And excuse me, it does look like it is still the same storm. It has been shifted to the east. We are tracking just still that one rotation couplet in eastern Bertie or Martin County, excuse me, coming out of Williamston right now. Just looks like around the 64 corridor, slightly south now, still moving east around 35 miles per hour. So downwind, we will put a cone on here for you. And yeah, continues to speed up at 55 miles per hour now. So I will put that on here to the cone. Generally, again, moving east around 55 miles per hour. So continuing to speed up. So now places downstream, Plymouth, Jamesville, Skinnersville, the same places we've been talking about, Gumneck, continue to have those alerts ready and be prepared to go into your safe place as this continues to speed up a little bit as it heads towards the Albemarle Sound counties. And Donnie will continue to keep that. There's a few things they should know about how to protect themselves if some damaging winds is in their area.
Well, definitely, if you see the conditions deteriorate in your area, and that means anywhere east of what you're looking at on your screen right now, you need to be aware of that. Let me drop the lightning back out because of the fact we want to be able to show you where the warning is. But again, if you have an opportunity to get into a lower level, if you have a basement, that's great. Not many homes with a basement around these parts, but if you happen to have one, that's the place to be. However, if you are in a single level home, get into the center. That means a closet, a bathroom, someplace without windows. Stay away from the windows. That's very, very important that you keep that in mind because the breaking glass certainly can create lots of problems. So you need to be safe. Make sure you have a place to go, and you can see the hall, the bathroom, the closet, and the center part of the house here. And even underneath a stairwell in a house, sometimes there's a little closet underneath. That's a place to be. But mainly get into the center part of the house, away from the windows, as I mentioned, and also have a helmet. If you have a bicycle, motorcycle, or athletic helmet, also blankets and pillows help. If you get into a lower level bathroom, into a bathtub, and pull the blankets in on top of you, it certainly will be a big help to you. But again, what you're looking at is a tornado warning that is in effect. That's now been extended until 6:15, and the radar shows that we do have that area pushing through Williamston right now. And as you join me back on radar here, when you get a chance, you'll see that the area is right around Williamston on the trailing edges, but it's about to make its way into Jamesville and Plymouth. Those are the next two areas that we're looking at there as the potential making it down Highway 64. In fact, we have a couple other spots that we'll look at there between Jamesville and Williamston. You can see Frank Barber Road. Also, we're looking at East Island Road. Those are areas where the conditions are starting to drop for you. Fred Hardison Road. And then as you make your way on over toward Jones Road, Holly Springs Church Road, these are areas of concern. But again, as you make your way more to the east, especially on Main Street, as you head into Jamesville, you're going to see this 171 coming up from Old Ford. And then as you make it into like Mill Road, also Tar Landing Road, those are all areas in the line of this storm pushing off to the east. And I'm going to back out here and just do a quick little reset for you just to show you where we are here as far as the conditions around the region. And you can see that we do have most of this to the north right now. It's with this thunderstorm that is pushing through Martin County. But notice those thunderstorms also continue on up into Bertie County. So that's something you need to keep in mind is just because the storm might not be right on top of you doesn't mean that it's not in the neighborhood, and you certainly need to keep that as a thought in the back of your mind. But Martin County, the main concern right here, and Washington County now has been added. That runs until 6:15. And you can see the storm right now just about to push through Williamston, at least the trailing edges. And you'll also notice that's where the trailing edge of the tornado warning is. And then it extends to the east as you make your way over toward Jamesville, Plymouth, Roper, And again, you're looking at places like Farlow Lane. You're going to see this continue to move in your direction. And the thing about it, Grant, that we continue to see with these storms that pop up this afternoon, of course, the heating of the day is one thing that we've been talking about. The sunshine, that certainly doesn't help as far as the heating of the day, because it helps fuel these things. And that's what we saw was the sunshine come back out this afternoon.
It's been hot and humid, and we'll also take a look at areas that are still seeing a little bit of sunshine. You can see there's still a mix of sun and clouds. We are heading into the sunset hours, but regardless, I know there's not much out there other than this storm right now, but we will continue to track any other storms sparking up that could produce things like this: damaging wind, hail, lightning, heavy rain, and even a spin-up tornado. So if you're just joining us, we've been tracking a tornado warning since 5:15 p.m. It has been extended now until 6:15 p.m. and we'll turn off that lightning for you. You can see lots of heavy rain with this. Moving to the east, it has sped up along that 64 corridors where that potential rotation is, and it's speeding up around 55 miles per hour. So downwind, now we're keeping an eye east of that 1764 intersection, places like Jamesville, east of Everett, heading down towards Plymouth, Roper, Hokie, Jamesville. Again, continue to keep an eye out for this storm. Have the volume up on your TV, but be in your safe place. We'll continue to give you alerts here as we head into the rest of the evening. Lots of lightning with this storm, so if you're hearing the thunder, best to just go indoors and be in your safe place, even if you are outside of that tornado warning. You can see that we have other severe thunderstorm warnings where damaging wind is possible, hail, frequent lightning, and anywhere away from windows will be your safe place here. Again, moving east around 55 miles per hour. You can see downwind, we're tracking a couple areas of Plymouth, Skinnersville, Columbia, and again, now we're keeping an eye towards Washington County as well, places like Plymouth. So moving east around 55 miles per hour, we'll try to keep an eye on where that current couplet is. If we could turn on the storm relative velocity, it's been broadening, but again, still a tornado warning and still damaging winds possible. In fact, this new radar image shows a little bit of a concerning image of potentially some tornado on the ground, unconfirmed, but just now to the west of Jamesville. So along that 64 corridor, in fact, just to the south of that 64 corridor and around North Carolina 171. Be in your safe place. And we are tracking the potential of a tornado on the ground right now, moving into the 171 corridor. Jamesville, be in your safe place, and along that 171 corridor here. So we will pull back up the radar just so you could see the polygons that we are talking about, and lots of lightning with this storm as you head towards areas like the 171 corridor. And Donnie, we're going to continue to track not just this tornado warning, but some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So if you live anywhere in either of those warnings, you can be in your safe place. In fact, we have a couple tips here for you if you are under that warning. Go to your safe place. You can turn the volume up on your TV, have a phone with you, and if you have that weather alert radio, that will help keep you updated on future alerts as well. But the safest place to be is going to be anywhere away from windows. I know many of us here in the ENC don't have basements, but that is the best place to be. If you don't have a basement, it is perfectly fine to go to a hallway, a bathroom, a staircase, anywhere away from windows, and certainly not outside.
And you can see right now, Jamesville, this is moving into your area, and Darden's, it'll be in just the next little bit. Also Henson, Hoke picking up on this, also Plymouth. Those are areas out in advance of this storm system, and this is something that you need to keep in mind. It is certainly something that is a concern, so you need to make sure that you are watching this storm completely as it makes its way off to the east. Now this tornado warning again runs into 6:15. It includes the eastern half of Martin County and the western half of Washington County. So for those of you right along Highway 64, Plymouth, as well as Darden's and Jamesville, it looks like this is going to be headed in your direction. So Hampton Drive, as you make your way in and around Plymouth, those are areas. Also Mackey's Road, also Roxy Reese Road, those are areas that will be in the line as this continues to push on off to the east. But For those of you back to the west along 64, you can see Loblolly Drive. Also, as you make your way into Darden's and continue to head back over toward Jamesville, those are areas where you are picking up on the potential here for a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So this tornado warning will run until 6:15. That's still about 20 minutes away or so. So don't let your guard down, especially on Astoria Road, Main Street as you head into Jamesville, even back into places like East Island Road, Griffith Island Road, also West Islands Road. Those are areas where the center of this storm is passing through right now. Fred Hardison Road, as you make your way to Belltown Road, those are all areas that you need to be on the alert. Do not take this very lightly, because this is certainly a storm system that has had the capability to produce a tornado, but also lots of severe thunderstorm warnings have been coming out this afternoon. As I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you need to take this seriously just by watching the last couple of days of images coming out of places like Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma and even up into Kentucky. Those are areas that have been seeing quite a bit of thunderstorm and tornado activity that has created problems for the folks there, with lots of severe damage and as well as a threat. So we want to keep in mind, anytime there's a tornado warning, you need to stay on top of this, and that's what we're looking at right now. You can see Williamston. This is starting to push away, but it's moving into Plymouth. Again, it'll be at Jamesville, Skinnersville, Scuppernong, on over toward Cresswell. You can see in the curve there. And then as you make your way toward Columbia, now the severe thunderstorm warning does extend all the way out to Columbia until 6:45, but the tornado warning you see cutting off right around Skinnersville and to the south. And again, you can see Roper in the line there as well. So all of these areas certainly have the potential of seeing a tornado capable from this thunderstorm to be concerned about. But again, these are things that are most important at this particular point. Is the red area outlined. That's where the severe thunderstorm warning is, or the tornado warning is, until 6:15. And a little bit bigger picture will show you the yellow outline. That is the severe thunderstorm warning that is associated with that system. But again, as you can see, starting to move into Washington County, back through the eastern part of Martin County. But let's also look up into the eastern half of Bertie County, especially as you make your way up Highway 13 there, headed to the north. You can see that most of this is to the east of that point, but continues on over toward Maryhill and Edenton, and then to the north, places like Colerain. You're starting to see the rain back off a little bit, but the storm is still in the area, so don't let your guard down just yet. But the tornado warning, that's the main thing we want to keep an eye on, and that is the red box that you see here. It includes Roper, Plymouth, Skinnersville, again, Scuppernong. It's right up to your edge as well, and it's starting to move away from Williamston, but there's still a storm in the area capable of being a dangerous storm. So do keep that in mind. That is very, very important that you stay on top of this storm as it moves off to the east. But again, we do expect to see, because there is a tornado watch that runs until 11 o'clock tonight for most of the area. So it means the conditions are favorable for this type activity. So we will be tracking that as we head through the next few hours. But again, this tornado warning, our main concern right now in the eastern half of Martin County and the western half of Washington County up into Bertie County. But the tornado warning is for Martin County and Washington County at the moment. So for those of you in and around Plymouth, you can see it's starting to move into your area. So your conditions are probably deteriorating just a little bit. So you do need to keep that in the forefront as we go through the next little bit, because of the fact that this can produce very severe weather for you. And it is a danger, and we would certainly want to re-emphasize that you need to make sure you're on top of this particular system. Now, we're coming up on 6 o'clock. This will run for about 15 more minutes, this tornado warning. And you can see that we do have a severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30 that extends all the way out into Columbia, as you can see there, headed down 94 just to the west of Gumneck. So those are areas that we will be keeping an eye on. But since we are back at the top of the hour, let me back out one more time here and kind of reset the scene for you. you can see the main part of concerns has been these thunderstorms to the north. And to the south, really, it's the clouds that are there, but not really the storms. Most of the storm activity has been this afternoon, mainly to the north. And so that's where we're seeing this again. Severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30, and the gold boxes, the red boxes, a tornado warning that runs until 6:15, and that is for the western half. In fact, the western 2/3 of Washington County, and then back into the eastern half of Martin County. So keep in mind that this is a concern for us, and as we look through the next couple of minutes, we want to make sure that you are safe and that you're taking this storm seriously. It does have the potential of producing a tornado, or at least it could do so. Just by this signature that you're looking at here, Grant. And again, you can see the people in Plymouth as well as those who are right around Jamesville, where 171 comes up out of Old Ford. That's the area that you need to keep an eye on, right along 171 and 64, and then as we continue on over toward Plymouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now it does look to be just to the south of Plymouth or directly over Plymouth. So the radar image shows, again, it's been showing mostly the 64 corridor as we'll continue to see it move east. Last update, it was moving around 55 miles per hour, which means it has sped up. Originally, it was near Robertsonville to the west, but now to the south of Jamesville is where that potential rotation is. And we could put a cone on there for you just to see a few places downwind of Plymouth. And again, now moving into Plymouth, coming out of Jamesville. So again, it's 64 corridor's primary concern. Now to the east of that 1764 intersection, but anywhere in that tornado warning or even that severe thunderstorm warning, you're downwind of this storm where there's lots of lightning. Plymouth, Columbia, Gum Neck, Point Harbor, western Washington County, eastern Martin County is the highlighted area of risk right now. And again, we will turn on the velocity image again for you to show you exactly where this potential tornado is currently on the ground. So we've been talking about the 64 corridor. You can see still a very impressive radar image. At the very least, strong winds are possible with this. Now Darden's north of Hinson, and anywhere south, just south or along of that 64 corridor between Jamesville and Plymouth, please be in your safe place. And in about 5-10 minutes, places like Plymouth really need to be on the lookout. And along that 32, North Carolina 32, intersecting around 45, around White Oak Road, places like that need to be on the lookout. That is where that rotation looks to be drifting. But regardless, we can pull up all of the polygons here and we can turn off the lightning just so you can see the polygons that we are talking about. We're showing you where the rotation potentially is, but it doesn't matter if you're in that red polygon or that yellow polygon. The severe thunderstorm warning, be in your safe place away from windows. You see there's lots of lightning. We'll turn that off. You could also see heavy rain within these areas who have been seeing it now for the past 30-45 minutes. So now we're going to watch an eye out also for the potential ponding of the roadways. So Albemarle Sound counties moving out of eastern Martin County, southern Bertie County. You're not out of the woods, even though you're not in that warning. We're keeping an eye on gusty, damaging winds. Skinnersville, western Washington County, places like that, we'll be keeping an eye out for this to continue to drift east. And it is starting to speed up. Like we said, originally was around 20 miles per hour moving to the east, now around 55 miles per hour. So just to the south of the 64 corridor, coming out of Jamesville, Plymouth heads up for this impressive rotation. And we're going to continue to keep an eye out for the potential of not only heavy wind, rain, and lightning, but also hail within any of this as well. The National Weather Service mentioned that hail around 1 inch is possible, and wind gusts, regardless, outside of this tornado warning of 60+ miles per hour is possible as well, and that could be damaging. So anywhere around the Darden's area, we'll show you exactly where that rotation is potentially right now. And you could see, hard to see, but in that area, we have a bit of a couplet to the south of Darden's, now over Hinson, Plymouth. Again, you are one of the places along that North Carolina 32-64 intersection are areas that are going to need to keep an eye out for that as well. And we will turn on the radar. Donnie, there's a few things that people could do to protect themselves from potentially damaging wind, and also a way to continue to get alerts.
Well, you need to continue to get those alerts. You need to have multiple ways to do that and stay on top of it because there is a tornado watch that runs until 11 o'clock tonight. And if you happen to see these threatening conditions that we're talking about right now, even later on, remember the center part of the house, a small closet or a bathroom without windows or a center hallway is the best place to be in the center part of the house. And of course, stay away from windows. Very, very important. If you happen to have a lower level bathroom, then you can get into the bathtub in there with a blanket or pillows, as well as a athletic helmet, also a motorcycle helmet or a bike helmet. Those are good ways to protect your head because it is very, very important as these conditions continue to deteriorate. But again, what we're looking at right now for the people in Plymouth to Skinnersville and even back to Jamesville, that's the area for it. So Jamesville, as you head up 64 on toward Plymouth and then on over toward Skinnersville, Scuppernong, this is going to be getting close to you soon. Cresswell, you can see you're outside the tornado warning, but still within the severe thunderstorm warning. So that means you're going to see threatening conditions over the next couple of days or over the next couple of hours. But you can see by about 11 o'clock tonight, we are expecting this tornado watch to expire. But until then, these conditions could certainly deteriorate. You can see that we do have the potential for tornado with that tornado warning. Now, we expect to see updates occasionally as we go through here. But Williamston, you are out of the rain and the storms at the moment, but not far to the east is where you run into that tornado warning that continues on over to Plymouth and Jamesville, and then around to, as I mentioned, to near Skinnersville. So that's one area you need to keep an eye on. Scuppernong, you're just outside of the area. Cresswell, you're just outside of the area, but you are still in that severe thunderstorm warning, and it actually runs until 6:45. It's a tornado warning that runs until 6:15. So you need to just make sure you're taking precautions with this storm. It's had certainly a history as it's made its way off to the east, and I know that we were talking a couple of minutes ago, Grant, that this all the way back to Robertsonville and so forth, but actually this is all part of that same storm system that back in Halifax and Edgecombe County that this actually produced tornado warnings earlier this afternoon. So we've been watching that line make its way off to the east, and we need to keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the evening for the folks out there. But again, what you're looking at right now, the main concern is that red polygon or that red box that indicates where we have the tornado warning until 6:15. Haven't seen an update in the last couple of minutes, so I think we're still on track for this one. It runs until 6:15. It's 6:08 at the moment, so you can see about 5, 6, 7 more minutes that we'll see this potential warning, and of course we will get updates. But again, as Grant has been pointing out with the area showing the winds within the storm, that we do have the potential of this still continuing to be a threatening storm as it makes its way on over to Plymouth and Roper and eventually on to the east.
Absolutely, and as Donnie mentioned, this has been a cluster of storms that impacted Edgecombe, Halifax County, and this is another continuation of the one since 5:15 around Robertsonville. Is one of the areas that hopefully people along that 64 corridor are okay. If you heard anything, if you're okay, please let us know. But again, if you're just joining us, tracking a tornado warning until 6:15 p.m. here. And we'll pull up the storm relative velocity and look at the rotation here, potentially now moving to the south of just Plymouth and moving the radar here, getting a better idea of the rotation. Doesn't look like the radar image is updating, which is a good sign if this radar image is correct, that there it is. Yeah, there's just to the south of Plymouth. Kind of in a weird spot right now, trying to pick up on 2 different radars, which we can fix here. But also wanted to mention, if you are in that polygon, we'll show up the take off the lightning. You can see that red polygon. It's been riding along the 64 corridor just to the south of 64 now. Places like Plymouth, coming out of Plymouth, downwind, Roper, Skinnersville. And if you're in that polygon, you have a tornado warning here until 6:15, potentially being extended. So Washington County, Albemarle Sound counties, we're going to continue to keep an eye out for damaging winds within these. And we do want to also talk about the potential for also frequent lightning, heavy rain, wind, and also hail here. You can see that we do have potentially hail along the same storm, and this shows you an image of what kind of size hail. There is the potential for 1 inch or greater hail within this storm. So again, if you're in the tornado warning or even that severe thunderstorm warning, you're going to want to keep an eye out for this storm and have a way to get alerts. Donnie, there's a few things they could know to be in their safe place, correct?
Well, that is true. You need to take these storms seriously. It's certainly the reason we're on the air continuously with the tornado warning, because it does create a concern, and it's something that you need to take seriously because of the fact of it just takes a storm sneaking up on you to create a really bad situation. So you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that you're prepared. And as you take a look, that includes areas in and around Plymouth and Roper, also up to Skinnersville, Jamesville. This is just about moving through your area at this particular moment.
I'm thinking this will probably.
And and it looks like Plymouth continuing to see the potential there of the conditions deteriorating over the next couple of minutes before getting better. So that means that you're right in the center of the storm. So do be on the alert for the danger that goes along with this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. We're going to go back in and show you some of the roads to keep in mind here. That includes Roosevelt Avenue, also White Oak Road, Garrett Island Road. Also, we're looking at places right along Highway 64 where 45 comes out, 32 comes up there at Plymouth. Those are certainly concerns. East Main Street, Waycore Drive, also Riverside Drive. And as you continue to push on to the east toward Roper, you need to keep this in mind. It's making its way into your area as well. So that means places along West Mill Pond Road, also Cross Road. Those are areas that you need to keep on the alert over the next couple of minutes. We'll back out and show you kind of the bigger picture here of where this is. And it looks to me like they have now extended that, tornado warning, and it looks like they've extended it over into Terrell County as well. So that runs until 6:45. So it looks like about another 33 minutes. So for those of you, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, in Cresswell and Scuppernong that was outside of the tornado warning, you're now in that tornado warning that runs until 6:45 and continues on over to near Alligator. So to the places off to the east, we were talking about it a couple of minutes ago. This has been holding together, and that tornado warning appears now to have been extended until 6:45 off to the east. And the latest information is still moving east at about 50 miles per hour. And at the latest indication was that this had the potential of producing a tornado, quarter-size hail. It was a thunderstorm that has been extending along that line. Now, it was near Roper. We talked about that a couple of minutes ago, and Winona moving off to the east at about 50 miles per hour. So let me put a scan back on that and show you as we go through the next couple of minutes what to expect as far as the direction this is headed. And again, you can see as we put the track on for you, we'll back that out to about 50 miles an hour. So you can see Scuppernong in about 2 minutes, Columbia. This will make it into your area in about 15 minutes from now. Alligator in about 25 minutes. Kitty Hawk and Kill Devil Hills over on the northern Outer Banks could actually see impacts for this storm. So this is something that is a big concern. It's been what we'll call a continuous running threat. And Grant, that just means that it doesn't show a lot of signs of weakening. Now, has there been a tornado touchdown? We would have to wait for the official information on that, but as of right now, haven't seen anything, or it doesn't appear that we've had anything reported, but that doesn't mean that it's not out there and the threat's not out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've seen impressive radar signature in terms of its velocity and rotation, which we'll pull up right now and see exactly where that rotation is. It was just to the south of Jamesville, still moving to the east, around 50 miles per hour with the latest update. And if you are just joining us, It is moving east to the 50 miles per hour. So if you live downwind, please be in your safe place or prepare for your safe place. It is going to continue until 6:45 p.m. here. So if you're just joining us, that 6:15 expiration has now been moved to 6:45, and the radar has been the images are somewhat in a weird area right now. The storm is somewhat in a weird area where our radar might not be picking up the best velocity images. So don't want to say exactly where that rotation is, but just a few minutes ago, it was just to the south of Jamesville and south of Darden. So now, again, places downstream here will put on that polygon. So you can just see if you are in that red polygon, be in your safe place and be in your safe place away from windows. Centermost part of your house, hallways, stairways, bathrooms are a-okay. Turning off the lightning, you can get a better idea as to where these polygons are. And in fact, I'll turn off the radar as well just to see. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings pretty much for all of the Albemarle Sound counties a part of this storm. And then heading east around 50 miles per hour, we have a tornado warning with that potential rotation on the ground just to the east of Plymouth now. So going to continue to watch out for the 64 corridor. It's been riding the 64 corridor pretty much ever since Robertsonville in central Martin County. Now the threat is now more so in western Washington County, and we'll continue to keep an eye out for this. So turning on the radar here, lots of lightning with this. If you're hearing the thunder, best to just be indoors and away from windows. Do want to pull out to see how the radar is updated in terms of other storms. Still looking good across eastern Carolina, but you could see one storm here, this is typically how it forms in its infancy, just outside of our viewing area. We're going to keep an eye out for anything like that sparks up that could potentially bring some more severe weather to portions of eastern Carolina, especially areas who have seen more sunshine today. But not everybody will see one, but please, until 11 p.m., all of eastern Carolina is under a tornado watch. We'll bring that up here. You could see the latest watch. It'll be a second to pull up right there. You can see all of eastern Carolina until 11 p.m. is under a tornado watch. So like I said, it's storms like this that will continue to bring the threat of not only damaging wind, hail, frequent lightning, and heavy rain, but also the potential for a tornado. Want to zoom in to Martin County here to get a better picture. And also we can take a look at the hail potential within this storm. You can see right now, anywhere within that storm could be seeing hail, heavy rain, and even up to large hail within the strongest part of that storm, 1 inch or greater. We have a tornado warning if you're just joining us until 6:45 p.m. Now moving into portions of western Washington County. We're going to keep an eye out for that. So we will continue to see frequent lightning with this. So if you're hearing that thunder, the best place to be is just indoors, again, away from windows. I do want to potentially keep an eye out here for any rotation within this storm. Again, the radar is somewhat in a weird area where the rotation may not be as visible, but if you're in that polygon that we just showed, anywhere in that polygon, please be in your safe place away from windows. If you're hearing that thunder, it is best to just stay indoors. So for the past hour now, we've been tracking this severe storm, and it looks like, yeah, there's that better visible rotation just to the south of 64, south of Skinnerville, Columbia downstream. And now we're kind of keeping an eye to the southwest of Plymouth in southern, I believe that's Martin County there, another area of rotation where there could be some strong winds. And I don't know if there's a tornado, don't believe the tornado warning encompasses that, but again, that is another area where we are going to keep an eye out for the potential for some strong winds. So places like Salling's Crossroads, the 171 corridor to the east of that, keep an eye out. And Donnie, we're going to continue to keep an eye on the actual tornado warned storm up towards Plymouth. If we want to pull up the velocity there, try to get an idea of if you want to scoot over to near Plymouth to see where that potential rotation is. And again, somewhat of a difficult spot, but regardless, if you're in that tornado warning, have a way to get alerts here. Have the volume up. You can turn the volume up and be in your safe place. Have that weather radio or even your phone to continue to get updates on this alert. We've seen this extended now 2 times. It started out in Pitt, Martin County around Robertsonville and has pretty much rode along that 64 corridor, so downwind here just now to the west of Cresswell. to the east of Roper, keeping an eye out for dangerous winds that could be damaging at times, and we'll continue to keep you updated if this continues. But there's also that area, keeping an eye out on a couplet to the southwest of Plymouth, southern Martin County here, to the southwest of Plymouth, southern Martin County, for another potential area of rotation, but no warning on that. We will pull up the polygon so you can get a better idea as to where those warnings are at. The severe thunderstorm warnings, we have 2 of them right now. Now for that same storm that we just mentioned there in Martin County, northern Beaufort County, keeping an eye out for this as well. It seems like it's starting to spark up its own life. And again, rotation. But the tornado warning we're currently tracking is until 6:45 p.m. for portions of western Washington County and heading off to the east around 50 miles per hour. So if we could put on that cone and see a few places downwind, not that it will exactly survive that long, but regardless, places downwind, we'll have to keep an eye out here for the potential of a tornado, or regardless, damaging wind, hail, heavy rain. And areas that have seen some heavy rain here this afternoon or even for the past few days, keep an eye out for the potential of ponding of the roadways and anything like that with any storm that sparks up, and especially within this one. But here's a couple looks here. It looks like it's just to the south of Scuppernong. I'm sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly, but now about 10-15 minutes away from Columbia. Again, to the south of Columbia, to the south of that 64 corridor is where we've been tracking, just to the south of that 64 corridor, I should say, is where we've been tracking that potential rotation. Gum Neck in about 45 minutes. And if it makes it that long across the Albemarle Sound counties, Nags Head, the Outer Banks, will keep an eye out for this as well. But Donnie, if you are in either the tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, it's better to just be inside.
Well, it is, and as you take a look, quite a bit of lightning, as we just mentioned, especially as you make your way into areas of, as we just mentioned, Washington County over into Terrell County. That's where the tornado warning goes until 6:45. And again, it's been holding together for quite a while. In fact, as Grant mentioned a couple of minutes ago, this started about 5:15, so we've been going over an hour tracking this same storm as it pushes off to the east. So that means that it is holding together. It is a concern. You need to be sure to take precautions. So we do have the tornado watch, meaning conditions are favorable for tornadic development for many thunderstorms that do develop this afternoon and evening. And that runs until 11 o'clock tonight. So keep that in mind, that that is a concern, and therefore that has also prompted this tornado warning because of one of the thunderstorms. And it started back west of the viewing area, then it moved into Pitt and Martin and Bertie County. It has been pushing on to the east, but again, the areas you see with quite a bit of lightning right now, you need to keep that in mind. That is certainly a concern, and we'll take the lightning off just so you can get a better idea of where we are here. You can see the tornado warning includes Skinnersville, Cresswell, and Columbia is now included in that, all the way over to Alligators. You head down Highway 94 toward Gum Neck, and then back to near Jamesville. Now, it looks like a little bit of the trailing edge may be back near Jamesville, but don't let your guard down just yet, especially as you head along 264 over toward Dardens. You have 32 and 45 coming up from the south into 64 near Plymouth. That's an area where we're seeing the potential here. Also Henson and Hoke and over to Winona. Also, as you make your way back to the west, you can see just on the east side of Highway 171 going up from Old Ford to Jamesville. To the east of that road, it looks like you still have the potential for strong to severe thunderstorms here. The severe thunderstorm warning runs until 7 o'clock, and that includes parts of, and we are now seeing an extension of tornado warning here. That is a new one that we just talked about that is just to the south, right in the center right now. But again, what we're looking at here, and let's go back and see if we can get this to represent itself and take the lightning off, and that will be that tornado warning that we just talked about that was back just on the east side of 171. I just mentioned that, and you can see that's the area that we're looking at. Right now is the tornado warning. And this one runs until, I'm still checking the time on that, until 7 o'clock, it looks like. So it goes until 7 o'clock. And again, that is all part of this same system. But this is what, Grant, you were talking about a second ago, and that's it, area just back to the west. And you can see right in here, that's the area we were looking at just a couple of minutes ago. And we were noticing that it was starting to show signs of rotation again. So let's get back over and take a quick look at that area. And you can see that's what we were pointing out a couple of minutes ago. Just to the east of Highway 171. And again, you can see there, Grant, obviously that's the area that has created the tornado warning just issued.
Yeah, we have a new tornado warning, so we're tracking 2 right now. The new one is until 7 p.m., now moving into northern Beaufort County with a much more visible, right now, area of rotation potentially as it continues to move east. Recent radar image is now officially in northern Beaufort County. So areas along that 32 corridor, Highway 32, and just to the west of it, certainly be on the lookout there. Again, north side of Beaufort County here, north of Washington, north of Walla Walla. And also there is still the tornado warning that we're tracking in portions of Washington County as well. So 2 tornado warnings. A good rule of thumb is if you're hearing the thunder, go indoors and be in your safe place. And we'll turn off the lightning real quick. You can see there is lots of lightning with this. And I will even turn off the radar just for a second so you can see we're tracking severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's important to also be indoors. But 2 tornado warnings, 2 separate ones here. This first one to the north, impacting portions of Washington County and heading up towards Columbia, still that 64 corridor. There's that one, and then the one now impacting southern Washington and north side of Beaufort County here. So that's going to be an area that we're going to continue to track and also continue to track for the potential of a tornado and damaging winds. Do want to quickly pull out a view of our entire viewing area here since we're heading towards 6:30. As of right now, everybody else is mostly dry and we are heading into the sunset hours, but still all of Eastern Carolina is under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. tonight. So have a way to get warnings here, even though we are all dry across much of Eastern Carolina, other than these cluster of storms north of 64. Any storm that does spark up could be strong. Not everybody will see one. Most of us won't see one, it looks like, but any that do, it does look like they could be strong to severe. So we will zoom back in here to portions of Beaufort County, also Washington County. We're keeping an eye on.
That's up near Pinetown, by the way, about 13 miles southwest of Plymouth, but it's moving at 30 miles per hour. So this one's moving a little slower, which means it has a little bit longer to impact the area there. But again, Pinetown is the area that where the potential tornado for this new warning came up.
Yeah, Pinetown here, this is the new one until 7 p.m. Again, along the border of Martin County, Washington, and Beaufort County. So again, if you live anywhere near Pinetown, that 32 corridor, this is an area that we're tracking as well. Also keeping an eye still on the storm that is potentially impacting the Albemarle Sound counties and getting a better radar image here of the velocity so you can see the brighter colors of more of a defined couplet. It is somewhat of in a weird spot, so regardless of this radar image, you want to be in your safe place, and if you're in the polygon, you can see that red polygon where that potential tornado is. I will turn off the lightning again so you could get a better idea as to where that is, but anywhere around Columbia as well, we're tracking 2 systems. The first one that has been going on for the past hour now, still along the 64 corridor, to the east of Cresswell, right before Columbia, and just turning on the rotation as well, just trying to get a better idea as to where that potentially is. And do want to put it in motion over the last 15 minutes. Still moving to the east, looking more towards the Albemarle Sound areas here. So Albemarle Sound, Terrell County also going to keep an eye out for this. And north of 64 now, so it's been riding that 64 corridor to the south, but that storm, again, Albemarle Sound counties just to the east of Davenport Forks and to the northwest of Columbia. So if you live anywhere near that area, that is still a tornado warning as well. And also another tornado warning that we're tracking here in portions of northern Beaufort County along the border of Martin County, Beaufort, and Washington County. We're tracking that storm as well, just to the west of the 32 corridor, Highway 32, and to the south of Plymouth. So do want to put on both warnings here so that you can see which tornado warnings we are tracking. I will just give me a second here. We'll turn on the radar, we'll turn off the lightning, and turn off the radar real quick. So 2 tornado warnings, and you could see the one to the north, one impacting Washington, and now Hyde County is going to go until 6:45 p.m. So that's another 15 minutes, but now we're tracking a new one just along north side of Beaufort County here. That one goes until 7 p.m. Lots of lightning with this, and 2 storms, both moving fairly quickly. The one to the south, like Donnie said, is moving around 30 miles per hour, and the one to the north is moving a little bit quicker. Lots of lightning though, regardless. And we do have a product here to show the potential of hail as well right now. I'll put it, excuse me, right now. Now we can see the potential for hail within areas in north side of Beaufort, anywhere along that Beaufort, Martin, and Washington border here. That's where we're potentially seeing that tornado right in that area, but then also 2 storms that have tornado warnings that we're tracking here. And Donnie, we're going to continue to keep updated. Right now, the current timing of this is the one up towards Columbia, the Albemarle Sound counties. That goes until 6:45, and it does look like it might start to skirt over towards the Albemarle Sound itself, but still some impressive velocity couplets there. In fact, seeing one just to the south of Columbia, seeing some possibly damaging winds. So if you live anywhere near that area, please be on the lookout for damaging winds. Be in your safe place here. Places down along that path could be Alligator, East Lake, Lake Neighborhood, Kill Devil Hills. Eventually down the road, as it continues to move east around 50, 55 miles per hour. So again, areas under that tornado warning, be in your safe place here until that has expired or has been canceled. Still goes until 6:45, and then Donnie's pulling up the new tornado warning that we're tracking that goes until 7 p.m. and you could see that's moving around 30 miles per hour. So places downwind of that, similar places, Pungo, Hoke, Swindell, again, southern, southwestern Washington County as well will be downwind. But right now it's still in Beaufort County, that potential rotation along the border of Beaufort, Washington, and Martin County. Lots of lightning with this as well as it continues to drift east. Donnie, we've also seen a couple downpours over the past today and also over the weekend. So areas that have seen some heavy rain recently will also have to be on the lookout for some ponding of the roadways as well this evening.
Well, that's certainly something that goes along with these thunderstorms as well, are downpours, and that certainly could create a problem out on the road. So do keep that in mind for the next couple of minutes as you make your way along Highway 64 from Plymouth all the way over to East Lake and then points east after that. Because of this severe thunderstorm. The warning goes until 6:45. Now, the second severe thunderstorm warning, that's the one that covers the northern parts of Beaufort County, Hyde County, Washington, and then the very southwestern part of Terrell County. That runs until 7 o'clock. Otherwise, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning that covers Washington and Terrell County that runs until 6:45. Then we have the tornado warnings. There's 2. And you can see one of those continues to be the main area that we have been tracking. This runs until 6:45, I believe, is the time on that one, and that's the one that's running through parts of Washington and Terrell County. The smaller box that you see, this runs until 7 o'clock now, and you can see it includes the areas right along Highway 32, as you can see. Making your way on to the north on 45 and 32. Those are areas in the northern parts of Beaufort County, and then making it as you head into Plymouth and on over toward Roper, that area will be passing to the south. But again, you can certainly see the main concern is the area between Highway 32 and Highway 171. And that's right, as Grant mentioned a second ago, that's right in the corner there where you have Beaufort County, Washington County, as well as Martin County. But again, this is one area that is a big concern, continues to be a concern in 2 cases. The one we're talking about right now that you can see in the northern parts of Beaufort County, Washington, and Martin County. Then as we head up into Washington County and Terrell County, we have the second tornado warning. So we have both of those warnings that are underway. And again, the one that is running along Highway 64 through Terrell County and on over into Washington County. That runs until 6:45, but the other tornado warning runs until 7 o'clock, so it means there's still about 25 minutes left on that. So to those of you in the northern parts of Beaufort County, especially the southern part of Washington County, you need to be on the alert for this particular storm right here. So as you make your way Hoke, Henson over to Winona and Pike Road, at Highway 32, you can see that we do have certainly areas there with Hollis Road, also Long Ridge Road. Those are areas in the bullseye right now. So you need to keep in mind that you need to be safe during this storm. That is very, very important for the storm trailing back to the southwest of the first storm system. And that's the one that we're showing you that runs until 7 o'clock. And the reason for that is that just popped up again a couple of minutes ago and then continued to become impressive as it made its way across, and the Weather Service issuing that that tornado warning for that. And again, as we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, we do have the other area that is pushing off to the east now. See if we can change that again to try to get a better depiction here for you. We'll take the radar and change that, and looks like again this is kind of a point in between the Wakefield, Virginia radar and the Morehead City radar, so sometimes it kind of offsets this just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the one up along the Albemarle Sound counties right now, is likely still impacting areas along 64, Columbia, Alligator. There it is, a better radar image, just between two radars there to the south of Cresswell, and then Columbia as well, moving east a little bit quicker than the one in Beaufort County. So places downwind like Columbia to the south of Columbia, Alligator, anywhere in northern Hyde County, definitely be on the lookout here for a potential tornado moving east pretty quickly. So we will turn on the polygons again just to show you the areas, regardless if you are near that rotation or not. The polygons will show you here that will highlight the areas under warnings, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. You can see that we have lots of lightning with this. If you're hearing thunder, go indoors. It's just better to go to your safe place that could be away from windows. If you don't have a basement, a stairwell or a stairway, bathroom, hallway will all work really well. Anything away from windows, you could use bed sheeting or anything to protect yourself from any potentially flying debris. And there's a good graphic here for you. So again, if that alert went off for you here, anywhere away from windows is the safest place to be. If you have a basement, I know many of us here in Eastern Carolina don't necessarily have basements. A hallway, stairwell, bathroom, places like that, even a closet will be okay, be a good substitute to a basement. But places like your kitchen, bedroom, living room, anywhere near windows won't work. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with grabbing something that could give you some protection, like a blanket, helmet, or pillows here from potentially flying debris. We have two tornado warnings and also two thunderstorm warnings. If you're just joining us here, we are tracking two warnings. One to the south, which we're highlighting right now, goes until 7 p.m. Moving to the east around 30 miles per hour, so downwind places like Hinson, southern Washington County, along that Washington-Beaufort County line right now. Pungo, we'll keep an eye out for that. There's another tornado warning still impacting the Columbia area, moving east, the Albemarle Sound counties, looking at that as well. Columbia, Alligator, East Lake, Sunnyside, and then eventually, if it continues to hold up, the Outer Banks, we'll have to keep an eye out for that as well. And it's been a busy weekend, of course, with the Memorial Day. This isn't what you like to hear, but we are tracking the potential for a couple more storms here tonight. We will zoom back out a little bit just to show you what's going on in the rest of the region. The good news is we're still tracking dry conditions for the rest of Eastern Carolina, and not even any real storms to our west right now. A couple storms in South Carolina, but it's those sort of storms that if any of them do continue to spark up over the next few hours, we're going to continue to see the potential for some strong winds and even a pop-up tornado that could be potentially here. We have a tornado watch for all of Eastern Carolina. So again, the only storms we're tracking right now are north of 64, the one in Beaufort County moving east, and also the one in Hyde County. But all of Eastern Carolina have a way to get alerts here for the next few hours until midnight at least. So lots of lightning with this storm. If you're hearing thunder, best places to just go indoors. And radar has picked up a little bit of potential of hail as well, especially right now with that storm near the Washington-Beaufort County line. Large hail possible up to or greater than an inch. So that's also important to be indoors as well. If your car's outside, it's too late. If you're near that area, be indoors. Don't go outside. The safest place to be is, again, anywhere away from windows. We are tracking 2 tornado warnings. I'll turn off the lightning here and radar just so you could see the 2 warnings we're talking about, those red boxes. The one to the north we've been tracking now for over an hour, as it originally started in Martin County. That goes into until 6:45 p.m. They have not extended it or canceled it yet. So still, if you're under that polygon, please be on the lookout here. We'll continue to see if that is extended. Then there's the newer one here along the Beaufort County, Washington County border. Going to turn on the velocity to see exactly where that potentially would be. We're talking about that 32 corridor, places along 32, along the Beaufort Washington County line. Please be in your safe place, and downwind places like Pungo, Swindell, and again anywhere along 45 as well, as it continues to move east around 30-35 miles per hour, and it might speed up as it continues to move east. So if you're living down range, even places around Hyde County as well, southern Hyde County this time, might have to be on the lookout for this downstream. And we are still tracking that severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning along the 64 corridor in Hyde County. So the Albemarle Sound County is keeping an eye out for this as well. A couple, like Donnie said earlier, this is between 2 radars, so different radar images coming in, but still some impressive couplets here, or at least damaging winds possible with this and heavy rain. If you're hearing that thunder, best place to go to be is indoors. So Alligator, Columbia, along that 64 corridor, heading up towards East Lake, and then eventually the Outer Banks. Keep an eye out for that as well. And then there is, of course, we're tracking a second tornado warning along the Beaufort County, Washington County line, still showing some rotation here and along the 32 corridor right now. But Donnie, there's also the potential for hail within this. So if you're not even in that tornado warning, if you're in just the severe thunderstorm warning as well, be indoors and protect yourself.
Well, just remember that there's a reason for the saying, if thunder roars, go indoors, and that's the reason. You don't want to get caught out in one of these storms, especially anywhere you can hear the thunder. Obviously, that also creates a lightning strike concern. So we have all of that goes along with the severe thunderstorm. That includes the hail, as we just mentioned. We've been showing you that, and the lightning that you're seeing here on the screen. Certainly a big concern as we go through the next little bit, and notice that we have seen the severe thunderstorm warning that's been extended all the way out over the Outer Banks now. So that's an extension to the severe thunderstorm warning. But the main concern that we have continues to be this tornado warning. And you can see it runs over to about Alligator. So it means along Highway 64, Columbia, Cresswell, Scuppernong, up to Skinnersville. And then this continues back to just east of Plymouth. And then we pick up on that secondary tornado warning, or second tornado warning. They're both, if you're in it, it's the primary where you are. And that includes the one that's in the northern part of that's in the northern part of Beaufort County, also starting to sneak up into Washington County. But again, that's the area that we're keeping an eye on, also into Hyde County. So those of you in the northern parts of Hyde County, you need to keep this in mind over the next couple of minutes, especially for this trailing area here that we talked about between Highway 32 and 171. That's the area where we do have still the potential for a tornado. And that's why we have this tornado warning that you're looking at on the screen right now. So those of you along areas Pungo north as you head up 45, or 32 as you head up to the north out of Beaufort County into Washington County, those are the areas where we do have the potential of threatening conditions with that tornado warning that runs until 7 o'clock. Now again, the other tornado warning, I'll back out and show you this again, especially as you run from Plymouth over toward Columbia and eventually East Lake. That's the area where we do have the severe conditions out there again. But again, the tornado warning for the areas we just talked about, that is Terrell County and Washington County, is expected to expire coming up at 6:45, which is about 2 minutes away. So we'll certainly Hope that those conditions, as you head on over toward Columbia, the eastern part of Washington County, northern Terrell County, that those conditions continue to improve for you. But again, we are tracking this thunderstorm that had the capability of producing a tornado. And it is the one that has been the long-running one here, Grant. We've been tracking that one since about 5:15. You went on the air with that, and here we are approaching a quarter till 7, and it's still that tornado warning has been long-lived.
Yeah, and there were certainly some impressive images of rotation all the way back in Martin County near Robertsonville, Plymouth, Jamesville. So if you have seen anything, heard anything, let us know. But hopefully you are okay. And if you are still under that severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning, be indoors. Do not go outdoors. And like Donnie just mentioned, that same storm that's been going on for the past hour and 15 minutes will let the tornado warning aspect of that expire, but still damaging wind, heavy rain, and severe lightning and hail potentially possible within that storm as well. So still stay indoors along that 64 corridor east lake. We will focus now more towards the Beaufort County storm. And you can see that red polygon just turned off, but now we'll keep an eye out for
and we do want to mention that even though that tornado warning dropped, as we just said, they just now extended this severe thunderstorm warning all the way over to the Outer Banks. So it means it's still a very active storm.
Yeah, definitely keep an eye out there. I know lots of people vacationing up there. So if you know anybody up along the Outer Banks, Albemarle Sound counties, definitely give them a text or something. Lots of lightning with these storms as well. We do have the lightning turned off so you can get a better visual of this. The tornado warning we're now keeping an eye on is in northern Beaufort County along the Washington County line, and that goes until 7 p.m., so 15 more minutes, but there's still a rotation potentially there, and you can see just to the east of the 62 corridor, anywhere between Highway 32 and Highway 45 to the west of Pungo, Pike Road. So places like that, please be in your safe place here for the potential of a tornado on the ground. And we do know that there's others, like Donnie mentioned, severe thunderstorm warning. So these are the storms. Even if you're out of the tornado warning, it's best to just be indoors, away from windows is the most important thing. And we are again highlighting right now the areas that could potentially be seeing the strongest of the winds just to the west of Pike Road, between Highway 32 and Highway 45. So zooming out, giving a little bit bigger picture, you can see there's also heavy rain and wind potentially here, and also hail. At the moment, you can see there is potentially large hail within that same storm as well. I did see a couple radar images that did potentially show that there was some hail anywhere, again, between 32 and 45, anywhere near Pungo and Pike Road. So please be in your safe place here. And radar shows lots of lightning with this, so the good rule of thumb is if you're hearing thunder, be in your safe place. Again, right now the tornado warning is for portions of the north side of Beaufort County here on the Washington County line, anywhere near those regions. And then Hyde County, western Hyde County, keep an eye out for that as well. So we do, again, continue to have the severe thunderstorm warnings for that previously tornado warned storm, and it does look like there's a tornado warning outside of our viewing area north of the Outer Banks. Again, if you know anybody that lives up there, these are some strong storms with lots of lightning. But for us, we're going to continue to keep an eye on that tornado warning in Beaufort County here. You can see the polygons lighting up north of 264. And if you are near anywhere of that, you want to be in your safe place. A safe place, we can pull up a few tips here for you. A safe place is anywhere away from windows. I know many of us might not have a basement here in Eastern Carolina, so if you don't have a basement, it is a-okay to just go into the centermost area of your home, like a hallway, a closet, a stairway, a bathroom, bedrooms, kitchens, anywhere that has windows, just stay away from. And certainly, even if you're outside of that tornado warning, be in your safe place as well. And there's nothing wrong with grabbing a pillowcase, a bed sheet, a helmet even, to protect yourself from potentially flying debris, especially if you're within that tornado warning. And we'll pull up radar again here. Again, we're tracking the potential for a tornado in portions of Beaufort County, Washington County. I'll turn on the velocity couplets here to see how this storm is continuing to progress. This goes until 7 p.m. We're going to keep an eye out here for updated information from the National Weather Service. Still moving to the east around 30 miles per hour. So Pike Road, Pungo are up next. And if you live anywhere near there, please be in your safe place. Again, just still on the northern Beaufort County area, but if you live in that Washington County line as well, near Winona, sorry if I mispronounced that, but this is the area that we have a tornado warning, the red polygon here. I'll turn off the lightning and I'll even turn off the radar real quick so you can see which polygon we're talking about. If you live anywhere in that red polygon or even the yellow polygon, be in your safe place. The tornado warning goes until 7 p.m. It could be extended here as we've seen with the previous one, as it is still showing some impressive signs of rotation. If you're hearing that thunder, be in your safe place. Not only is there lots of lightning, potentially a tornado and lots of wind, but also hail. We've been showing this as well, that within this same storm, there's large hail potentially as well. So if you are hearing hail, you are close to that storm. You are in that storm that is tornado warned. So again, we are tracking severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. Donnie, there was the one that was canceled, but if you live in portions, especially in northern Terrell County, Dare County, the Outer Banks, that's still an area where you want to keep an eye out. And I know lots of people vacationing for the holiday weekend. So certainly text somebody if you know somebody staying up there.
Well, you can see all the lightning associated with that north of the Albemarle Sound counties. And as we mentioned a second ago, let me drop the lightning and the radar just to show you the information here, and that is that there is a tornado warning on the other side of the Albemarle Sound out onto the Outer Banks. That's outside of our viewing area, but certainly that is part of that same storm system that we've been tracking along Highway 64 for quite a while. Then we still have this tornado warning that runs about 9 more minutes, and you can see mainly right now it's in the southern part of Washington County, northeastern part of Beaufort County, and starting to move into Hyde County. So you can see that Hyde County is included in the northeast or northwestern part of the county there with this tornado warning that runs until 7 o'clock tonight. Again, we'll turn the lightning back on as well as the radar information and show you this is continuing to push on off to the east. Please keep in mind, and we have mentioned this a couple of times, there is a tornado watch that runs until 11 o'clock tonight. And again, that tornado watch, and you can see what we have with that is the tornado watch for all of our counties until 11 o'clock tonight. And that tornado watch certainly indicates that conditions are favorable for tornadoes to develop in any of the thunderstorms that do get going. So therefore, until 11 o'clock tonight, don't forget that that is something that we have going on in the region. Otherwise, here we go back to the radar, and we'll stop right here and just show you for a second what we're looking at here. It's mainly in the northeastern part of the viewing area, northern parts of Beaufort County over into the northwestern part of Hyde County and up into Washington County. That's the area where we're seeing the most concern right now with this tornado warning that continues for about 8 more minutes. And that's this area that just kind of came at the end here as we were tracking the previous tornado warning. This kind of popped in, you can see, between Highway 32 and 45 as you make your way over toward Railroad Bed Road, also Wonderland Road. Those are areas, and also number 2 Canal. Those are areas where we have the activity, but you can see just south of Winona, that's the one area where we're seeing the center of this particular storm system pushing off to the east. Pike Road also picking up on that. But again, that's the area that we're looking at right here, especially along NC 995. And then as you make your way over to A Canal Road, B Canal Road, those are areas where we need to stay alert, especially on Lake Road as this pushes off to the east. But Grant, this is something that we really need to stay on top of, because this actually spawned up right on the trailing edges of the previous tornado warning that we were watching. So it's very, very important to keep in mind that this system still has some punch to it.
Absolutely. And as Donnie mentioned, all of us in Eastern Carolina are under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. And do want to, you can see right there the impressive radar images that are showing the potential of hail and very, very, very heavy rain. So even isolated flooding, flash flooding is possible with this as well. That is, very heavy rain and hail potentially along the 45 corridor, and we'll turn on the velocity here. Still an impressive couplet that it's showing with potential of a tornado on the ground. Pungo, Winona, and Swindle, areas around there, be in your safe place. And then it is moving east, still around 30 miles per hour. We just got, yeah, look, the recent update here still shows 30 miles per hour moving to the east. So we can put that into play here for you. Still the north side of Beaufort County, but along that Washington County line is also areas where you want to be in your safe place. And then downwind, Hyde County will be on the lookout for that as well. And you can just see they did just extend that same tornado warning. Sorry for that noise, but we are looking at that being extended. It was set to expire here at 7 p.m. Going to look at the most recent information. Still moving to the east around 30 miles per hour. And again, still in the same spot that we're talking about. And that does go until 7:30 p.m. So now just another half hour here, moving to the east around 30 miles per hour. So like we said, right now, just to the west of Pungo, but Pungo, you're up next. Be in your safe place. And then to the east of that, 15, 20 minutes away, 15, 20 minutes away, we got Gailey Mission, Kikenly, Gumneck. So again, areas in northeastern Beaufort County along that Washington County line, and then heading into Hyde County here in the near future. Be in your safe place. We had just extended that tornado warning that was set to expire at 7 p.m. now until 7:30. Showing current rotation here. We can pull that up. Still an impressive rotation couplet that had the National Weather Service extend this here, and it's pretty easy to spot out. That is, again, the potential for a tornado on the ground. So do want you to take this seriously around Pike Road. Right now, Pike Road, Pungo, along that 99, Highway 99 up towards to where it meets 45. So again, those are the areas right now. Just be in your safe place. It's moving to the east around 30 miles per hour. So Donnie just highlighted a couple areas that will be downwind to it. And the places like northwestern Hyde County, if you live on that Hyde County now Beaufort County line, and even up towards southern Washington County, keep an eye out for this as well. We're tracking the potential for a tornado on the ground, highlighting an area right now that's just a little bit downstream over the next 10, 15 minutes. Moving not too quick. So again, heavy rain with this as well. You could see that heavy rain could potentially lead to ponding of the roadways as well. So even if you're outside of this tornado warning, stay indoors. If you're hearing thunder, just be in your safe place, and certainly continue to heed these warnings for the rest of the evening. We can zoom out to our viewing area just to keep an update on this. This is the sort of day where radar updates very much so minute by minute. But as of right now, still seeing dry conditions across all of eastern Carolina, except the cluster of storms that we've been tracking for the past hour and a half now. Couple showers sparking up there to the west of Wilmington, heading towards Pender County. So that's something that else, any storm that does spark up like that could continue to grow. And all of us here are under tornado watch until 11 p.m. But again, right now we're tracking a continuation of the tornado warning in northeastern Beaufort County. Places right now, Pungo, it is directly nearly overhead, if not moving already to the east of Pungo. Belhaven, again, places to the north of Belhaven, be on the lookout. Heavy rain, hail potentially with this, and lots of lightning. So if you are hearing that, good rule of thumb is just be indoors. The tornado warning goes until now 7:30 p.m., still showing good signs of rotation as it moves east around 30 miles per hour here. And again, zooming out, you can see dry across the rest of the region, but still have a way to get alerts on this busy Memorial Day weekend here. And I know lots of people up along the Outer Banks. So that storm that we were previously tracking that had a tornado warning now has only a severe thunderstorm warning, but still Nags Head, Manio, places like that, you're going to want to keep an eye out for this storm approaching your area. But right now we're tracking a tornado warning that goes until 7:30 p.m. for the same storm in northern Beaufort County. Now about to move out of the Beaufort County line into Washington County. That there still is that heavy rain, hail potentially, and lots of lightning. The rotation we're potentially tracking moving now more so into the northwestern end of Hyde County, and still along that Washington County border. So Donnie will continue to keep an eye out for these areas downwind.
Yeah, and you can see that we do have Kilkenny in about 39 minutes, also Gumneck in about 48 minutes. Frying Pan, we'll see this as well, sliding off to the east. So those areas need to keep that in mind. Otherwise, This is certainly a system and a situation that we have been tracking over the last a couple of hours with all these showers and storms pushing on through. And again, some of those with the potential of producing a tornado, and that has had us actually in the tornado warning mode since 5:15 this afternoon. And again, we're coming up on 7 o'clock, in this particular tornado warning that you're looking at right now. In the center of the screen, you see two red boxes. The one that is trailing back along Highway 32, that will pop off here in about a minute, as that's expected to come to an end. But the other red box indicates the newest tornado warning that has been issued, and again, that runs until 7:30. So that means we're going to see about another 30 minutes worth of activity from that particular storm system as it pushes off to the east. But this is a big concern. You need to take this seriously, and part of the reason, as we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, if you've been watching any of the activity back to the west, that includes places like Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Kentucky and even Tennessee. Over the past couple of days, quite a few storms popping up with tornadoes, and it's created a big problem for those areas. And that's just a reminder that you need to take these tornado warnings seriously when they are issued by the National Weather Service. But again, the trailing one, you're about to see it pop off here in just there it goes right there. And now that leaves the other tornado warning until 7:30. Now we're going to go back and take a look, and these are some of the areas that we're looking at as far as this particular storm system. But again, if you look off to the areas around Pike Road and Pungo, that's the area where you could be seeing the most active weather at the moment. So do keep that in mind and take your precautions. And I'm going to back out as we go back into the radar mode here. Let me back out and do a reset for you here at the top of the hour. For those of you that may just be joining us, we've certainly been tracking some active weather to the north. Bigger picture shows not a lot going on until you get back southwest of the viewing area. You can see Wilmington and Whiteville. This is kind of located in between those two towns. Otherwise, as you come back a little closer to our area, just not a lot going on except in that northeastern part of the viewing area. And again, as we head back in, I'm going to move us back a little bit closer here. As you can see, Terrell County, you're picking up on the lightning strike. Still quite a bit of activity, though, with this potential tornado as you make your way back into the northern parts of Beaufort County and into mainly Hyde County now, northern or northwestern half of Hyde County, and it's about to push out of Beaufort County. Then in the southern part of Washington County and Terrell County, the areas with that tornado warning that runs until 7:30. So it's been a very active day. We made today a weather alert day because we saw that this was a potential today, and with it being a holiday, we wanted you to be aware of the potential, and it has certainly been an active day as we saw some showers and thunderstorms this morning, again early afternoon, and now this late afternoon we've been seeing these with the tornado warning. So this is certainly something you need to keep an eye on. This is the area of most concern right now, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, Pike Road down to Pungo. In between the two, that's where we saw the signature a second ago that indicates where the potential for that rotation, and you can see Highway 45 and 99 coming together just south of Pike Road. But again, that's an area you need to be most concerned about, and I'm going to actually leave that image up that you see and just say along South Pungo Road. Also, as you see, Hyde Park Canal Road, also Main Stem Road, also as you make your way up Highway 45. Those are areas that you need to keep an eye on, because this is indicating still the potential for some rotation out here, and that's the area where we are tracking the potential for a tornado, and therefore we do have the tornado warning that continues in the area, and there's some of the rain that has been occurring with that. But here's the more important, and that is the polygon that shows you until 7:30 with all that lightning associated with it. I'll turn that off, and we have this running until 7:30. And again, you can see it continues on over to just about halfway across the northern part of Hyde County. southeastern part of Terrell County, and then as you make your way over into Washington County and starting to move out of Beaufort County. But again, right along Highway 45, you can still see that you are on the trailing edges here. So if you're headed over toward Kilkenny or Gum Neck or Frying Pan, those are areas of concern. Now off to the north, you can see that one area we were tracking along Highway 64 from Columbia over toward East Lake. You are seeing, again, that heavier rain and storms push off to the east, but for Columbia back over toward Cresswell, things are improving a bit. But don't let the tornado guard down just yet, because this tornado warning, as of right now, is scheduled to run until 7:30. We're still seeing some impressive signatures from that. So therefore, Grant, I think that's something that we will have to keep in mind over the next couple of hours. Is these storms could pop up, but the best part is this is the main concentration right now off to the northeast. It's not widespread across the area.
Yeah, long 64 that we've been tracking, this same complex of storms is pretty much the only storm activity in our viewing area, which is good news. But as Donnie just mentioned, any storms that do spark up, most of us won't see one here tonight, but any ones that do could pack a punch, just like this one here. So that's why it's important to continue to have a way to get warnings. But right now, we are still tracking this tornado warning coming out of Pungo Pike Road now. We'll pull up that's rotation potential here. And this is starting to get again into a weird spot between two radars, so don't want to treat this radar image as exactly correct, but it is showing somewhat signs of weakening if this image is correct. Regardless, we're going to take that with a grain of salt right now, because we still have a tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. for those areas. So where 45 and 99 meets around Pungo, again, just to the east of there now. So you're along 45, starting to see some improving conditions. Still, this storm is moving to the east. Going to see if there's any updated information here in terms of its speed. It goes until 7:30 p.m. and still looks like it's moving around 30 miles per hour. So still not a completely fast storm, but moving pretty steady. So off to in the distance downstream, we'll just highlight a couple areas here that would potentially see this downwind if it holds together. So places like Kilkenny, Gum Neck, like we said, portions of Hyde County, northwestern Hyde County along that Washington County line. Be on the lookout here until this expires, and you can go to your safe place. We will quickly pull up a few tips in terms of going to your safe place. We know many people here in Eastern Carolina might not have basements. So if you don't have a basement, you can go to a hallway, a stairwell, a closet, anything that doesn't have windows in the bottom floor in a sturdy portion of the house. Again, away from windows if you don't have a basement. You could use a pillow, blankets, anything that could protect yourself from potentially dangerous debris. And if you are in that tornado warning, this is important information as well. So there's nothing wrong with grabbing a helmet as well. If you have a motorcycle helmet, bicycle helmet, that was one of the best ways to protect yourself from flying debris. But again, we are going to continue to track a tornado warning here for about 25 more minutes if it does not get extended. Right now, it goes until 7:30 p.m. We're tracking in portions of northwestern Hyde County along the Washington County line as well. We're tracking heavy rain with this. There was hail likely, and we'll look at hail potential right now. Still large hail possible within the strongest of this storm. And the storm is still producing lots of lightning. So if you're hearing lots of thunder, the best place to be is indoors if you don't know if you're in that warning or not. Going to see another image of rotation here, still showing rotation. Again, getting into a weird part of the radar between radar beams. So we're going to continue to keep an eye out for that. But as of right now, to the east of Pungo is where we're tracking roads. We'll pull up a few road names here for you. Again, to the east of the 45 corridor, east of Pungo, you can see to the east of High Oak Park Canal Road is where we're going to be tracking this here in northwestern Hyde County. So lots of rain with this, heavy rain as well. Good news is the strongest of it is now moving up towards the Outer Banks. The bad news is there's a lot of people vacationing around the Outer Banks. So regardless if there is a tornado warning, this is not in our viewing area, but if you know anybody up along the Outer Banks, north of Kill Devil Hills, Rodanthe, places like that, there is a tornado warning. In fact, we'll turn off the radar here. You could see, yeah, there it is around, I believe, Donnie, is that near Manio?
Just
To the north of
Mani-
Manny,
to the
okay,
north of
yes.
Manny,
So,
toward
yeah.
the northern outer banks over towards southern shores and places like that.
Yes, and they're not in our viewing area, but again, going to be in that tornado warning. So if you know anybody up there, that's the strongest of the storm. Still a very impressive storm. And now this storm here is still producing a tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. This storm runs until 7:30 p.m., showing a good rotation couplet still just in the northwestern section of Hyde County here. So again, to the east of the 45 corridor. Downstream, we've highlighted some places like Gum Neck, to the south of Gum Neck, and eventually downstream, if it holds up, the Highway 95 heading up towards Dare County as well, in Terrell County, I should say. So we do, if you are just joining us, for the past almost 2 hours now, we've been really tracking the potential for some this tornado here. The storm's moving up towards the Outer Banks. That tornado warning has expired, but like we said, please be in your safe place and continue to get warnings where there is a tornado warning north of Carroll Devil Hills. Beaufort County, that storm was around areas to the west of 99 here. We saw Pungo and Pike Road, one of the places that were impacted by this. Now moving off to the east, still around 30 miles per hour, and places to the east of Pungo here along that Washington County and Hyde County line.
And it looks like, if you'll look at the polygon, it has changed or updated. It's now east of that line that you just mentioned. And a couple of minutes ago, it was over the middle of it. So it appears that we have actually seen that shift just a little bit. But again, it's still moving at about 30 miles per hour, as you mentioned. And that was the update that came out just a little bit ago.
The extension, and still goes until 7:30.
It will run until 7:30, and that is this tornado warning. But again, what we're looking at here is the one area that is actually been holding together for the most part, as it came up on the southwestern edge of that previous tornado warning that was making its way through the areas along Highway 64. But again, this is the main concern out there right now. So you can see in the southwestern part of Terrell County, the northwestern part of Hyde County, looks like it's now about completely out of Beaufort County. But then the southeastern part of Washington County, you still have these thunderstorms that are popping up, and one capable of producing a tornado. So we'll continue to track that. I'll drop the lightning off just to give you a good view here of what's going on. Mainly the rain right now, as you can see, the lighter rain along Highway 64 to the north, but it's when you get back down into that area where the tornado warning is until 7:30 that you are seeing the potential for these storms that could produce a tornado, and so therefore the tornado warning issued until 7:30. And again, you can see that does include mainly Hyde County, the northern and northwestern part of Hyde County, and the south of western Terrell County, and then on up into the southeastern part of Washington County. And this is pushing off to the east at about 30. So let's put a just a quick track here. You're still going to see just about the same roads that we have been looking, or the towns we've been looking at here, or locations, because it's not really getting out over a largely populated area. And you can see that mainly it is still Gum Neck and Frying Pan that I mentioned, and it looks like that we also have until 7:30. It includes the areas down to about Kilkenny as you make your way down 94, headed down the south from Columbia, headed towards Swan Quarter and New Holland. Otherwise, as you take a look, once again, until 7:30, that's the area highlighted in red. I'm going to drop off both the radar and the lightning just to show you that that is actually the only area left with the warning that continues. Now, we do have the northern Outer Banks with a severe thunderstorm warning, and you notice that that has now mainly in the northern parts of the Outer Banks. We had that in Dare and Terrell County earlier, but that is now pushed off to mainly the eastern areas. So this is the one that we'll keep an eye on, and that's that tornado warning that runs until 7:30. Otherwise, again, we do have until 11 o'clock tonight the potential for some more storms that could produce tornadoes. So therefore, we have the tornado watch that runs until 11 o'clock for the entire area, although it looks like Bertie County has now been dropped from that. So you may start to see this with this starting to push away now, Grant, see some of these drop off here a little earlier than 11 o'clock.
Yeah, especially in these areas, Martin County, Bertie, Washington, Carroll, northern Beaufort County, those areas that just saw that heavy rain, that will help maybe keep that stability or that instability at bay here for the rest of the evening. And it is still the storm we're tracking right now is the one in northwestern Hyde County is the tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. The rest of eastern Carolina is looking good, but still that tornado watch through 11 p.m. Not everybody, most of us won't see anything here this evening, but any storms that do continue to spark up, it's warm and moist out there, will continue to bring the potential of some strong storms. But right now, tornado warning still in effect until 7:30 p.m. for portions of northwestern Hyde County, and then also Terrell County, Gum Neck, places like that, going to have to keep an eye out downwind of this storm. We'll pull up the velocity couplets here showing how that's holding together. Again, it's starting to get into a place in between radar beams, so but it's still an impressive rotation here in terms of at least the damaging wind potential there to the north of Leachville. Again, in northwestern Hyde County is where we're tracking this. It did impact, the same storm did impact areas of Pike Road and Pungo about 20 minutes ago, and now about 20 minutes later in northern Hyde County. So it is continuing to still move to the east around 30 miles per hour. Not only is there a potential tornado, but there's lots of lightning, heavy rain and wind, and also even hail potentially within this. We did see some indications of hail when it was near that Pike Road area. But for right now, we'll pull back up radar. Still lots of lightning with this, an impressive storm that is producing a tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. as it moves east around 30 miles per hour. And we'll put on a cone here for you just to give you a better idea of some places downwind. And as Donnie mentioned, not many people are around here, but still people that may not be getting warnings. So if you know anybody up there, please give them a heads up. Kilkenny, Gum Neck, like we just mentioned, anywhere around there, that Hyde County, Terrell County line is where this is going to be essentially riding through if it holds up over the next 15 minutes. But over the next 30 minutes to an hour, this storm, even if it drops a tornado warning, like we've seen in the Outer Banks, could still produce some damaging winds as well as it crosses the Albemarle Pamlico County Sounds. And we will continue to bring off we just got some information here. The tornado warning has been continued. Just want to make sure, okay, they shifted it more to the east now. Correct. So the new polygon just came up, still until 7:30 p.m. and lots of lightning with this. We'll let you know if this is extended past 7:30 p.m. Right now, you want to be in your safe place. If you live anywhere along that Washington, Terrell, and Hyde County line where you are hearing that thunder, best place to be is indoors. So if we can pull up that velocity couplet just to get a better idea as to where this potential rotation is. Again, it impacted areas along Pike Road and Pungo around 20 minutes ago, and now drifting to the east of 45. They're around 30 miles per hour. So New Lake Road, that little lake there in northwestern Hyde County, that area is where we could potentially be seeing a tornado on the ground. But again, this is only radar indicated, so we do not have any ground truth to that. But we are also tracking a storm up near the Outer Banks. If you know anybody vacationing there, of course, they're seeing the worst of it right now. There is a tornado warning there, potential waterspouts as it moves across the sound. But we'll turn off the lightning here. You can see the polygons up in that area. Like we said, that tornado warning up along the Outer Banks has been expired. Still severe thunderstorm warnings. The only tornado warning we're now tracking is in northwestern Hyde County is where the rotation is, but areas along Terrell County as well and southeastern Washington County, please be on the lookout here for a potential tornado. Regardless, if you're near that storm or within that storm, we are going to continue to see that push east, and that is the safest place to be is indoors. And in fact, we can pull up a few graphics here to show you what a safe place could look like. Of course, a basement is the preferred place. If you don't have a basement, which we know many people here in Eastern Carolina don't have, you can go to a hallway, a stairwell, a bathroom, even a closet. The most important thing is anything away from windows. So your kitchen, living rooms, garages, bedrooms, if they usually have windows, that is not a place to be. If you don't have a basement, again, anywhere on the bottom floor, away from windows would be good. You can even grab a pillow, blankets, a pillow, helmet to protect yourself from potentially flying debris. So we will pull back up the radar here again. If you're just joining us, for the past 2 hours now, we've been tracking a few tornado warnings. The one right now, the only storm we're really tracking right now is in northwestern Hyde County along the Terrell-Hyde County line. Gum Neck, one of the populated places, up next, but anywhere along the Hyde County, Terrell County line, please have your alerts continuing and please be in your safe place.
And you can see that we do have the area has actually been narrowed down a bit, and you can see as you make your way up right along Phelps Lake, as you take a look up into Washington County, you're just right on the edge of it. Also included in it, Alligator Lake that you can see in the northwestern part of Hyde County. Those are the areas of main concern right now that's still in that tornado warning. Runs about 11 more minutes, and it will be interesting to see if this is extended or if this actually is allowed to expire, because it has been narrowing, if you will, the area that we've been seeing as far as the polygon is concerned. But that doesn't mean that any big changes would be coming. It just means that the area has been narrowed down just a bit. So you can see that tornado warning will run for at least about 10 more minutes, and you can certainly make out the areas around Heron Drive, also Shore Drive, and again, as you can see in the northern parts of that polygon, that's Phelps Lake, and as you take a look right around Galilee Mission, and then making your way on over into the areas of Hyde County and Terrell County. Those are the areas, and it looks like the southeastern part of Washington County. This is actually starting to shift away from you, but don't let your guard down just yet. You are still in the polygon with a tornado warning until 7:30. I do want to point out again that we've been tracking storms back to the west over the last several days in other parts of the country. This is just a reminder that conditions are favorable for tornadoes, and you can see because of that the tornado watch until 11 o'clock. It looks like Bertie County has now been dropped from that, but everybody else still intact until 11 o'clock tonight.
Yes, and radar is still going to show mostly dry conditions across all of eastern Carolina, except the storms we've been tracking now for about 2 hours, where we do have a tornado warning, and it does somewhat look like it's after weakening a little bit, gaining its ump with lots of lightning detected here within this tornado warm storm that goes until 7:30. Want to take another look at these velocity couplets still showing potentially a tornado on the ground. Good rotation there, those red and greens that are close together. But we will continue to track, regardless if this is expired or not, areas downwind, Gum Neck, anywhere to the just south of Phelps Lake along that Washington County, Terrell, and Hyde County line. This is where we are tracking a tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. And we were tracking a few other severe storms and tornado warnings a little bit to the north along the 64 corridor here. So it started out, again, another storm was impacting areas around Robinsonville and Martin County, and then rode along the 64 corridor, and is now, you can see all the lightning, big lightning show along the Outer Banks, and we know there are lots of people vacationing up there this week. So if you know anybody up there, definitely give them a shout out as well to make sure they're indoors, even though they are already seeing the heavy rain, lightning, and wind. So right now, the only storm we're tracking more closer to us is here in northwestern Hyde County along the border of pretty much Terrell and Hyde County now at this point, near Phelps Lake to the south of Phelps Lake, and then downwind along that 94 corridor of Gum Neck as well. We'll continue to keep an eye out for that. Moving to the east around 30 miles per hour, looking to see if we got any updated information on its speed here. It does look to still be around 30 miles per hour. And places, like we said, it's not a highly populated area in Washington and Terrell County, but regardless, if you know anybody that lives around there, please also give them a shout out. So Kilkenny is also another area just to the south of Gum Neck that could potentially see the rotation with this as well. The rotation has somewhat weakened, but still showing a good sign of rotation and lots of lightning with this. So this could potentially be extended for a little while and moving more so into eastern Hyde County and eastern Terrell County. But for right now, still in the northern northwestern section of Hyde County along the Terrell County border here to the south of Gum Neck and to the west of Gum Neck. Areas will have to be on the lookout here, that Highway 95 corridor, where there is still rotation generally heading in that direction. We'll put on where this has been heading over the past 15 minutes, so it's not moving completely fast, or at least as fast as that storm we were talking about or earlier near the Albemarle Sound counties, but it's still booking it pretty quickly. So if you are not in your safe place, Kilkenny, please be in your safe place until you get the okay here, and that could be there in about 5 minutes or so. So please, again, be in your safe place anywhere around Kilkenny as well, to the south of Phelps Lake as well. So we'll pull out a bigger view here since we are heading into the evening. We do still have a tornado watch for the rest of the evening for all of eastern Carolina. Going to pull up radar. Aside from the velocity, we still have a tornado warning until 7:30 in portions of northwestern Hyde County. And like we said, a couple storms that could still be possible here for the rest of the evening. Most of us at this point will be dry for the rest of the evening, but as you can see, there's a couple cells just trying to spark up near the Whiteville area, as Donnie mentioned earlier. This is a little bit too close and outside of our viewing area right now, and if they continue to spill into Pender County, if it continues to grow, that could still produce a gusty rumble of thunder or even some severe storms here tonight. Any storms off to our west isolated, but still, again, could pack a punch. The good news is we are heading past sunset now. We do still have about 45 minutes until the sun officially sets. But as the sun continues to set, that'll help at least a little weaken the potential of severe weather. But for right now, still tracking lots of lightning within the storm here in northwestern Hyde County. And it does look like they extended part of that warning as a severe thunderstorm warning into portions of Hyde County. And again, Gum Neck, one of the places in this. And they have not canceled or expired the tornado warning. However, if it does expire, that severe thunderstorm warning still goes until 7:30 or 8 p.m. I should say, that new warning there in portions of Gum Neck into the north of Lake Landing. That goes until 8 p.m. So even if they do drop this tornado warning, please continue to have a way to get alerts here and be in your safe space.
And as you take a look again, what we were talking about there, Grant, is that may be an indication that they'll continue to watch this as a severe thunderstorm, but we need to keep in mind, again, over the next couple of hours, we're still in that tornado watch, so this is something we want to keep an eye on. You can see quite a bit of lightning associated with this. This warning that you do see on the screen for the tornado runs until 7:30, but notice that severe thunderstorm warning that is extending out of that same system is expected to run until 8 o'clock. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that and the potential of severe weather as that storm moves off to the east. But again, one of the big concerns that we do have at this particular moment is keeping an eye on that particular area that has been holding together at a really pretty impressively as it's made its way to the east. It hasn't just popped up and weakened quickly. It's been holding together, and you can see it is starting to move off to the east in the southwestern part of Terrell County and the northwestern part of Hyde County. The main places where we're seeing this now as it pushes off toward Highway 94, the highway that takes you from Columbia down to Swan Quarter and New Holland and those areas. So as you go through the next couple of hours, just be on the alert because of the potential. I'm going to back out and show you the bigger picture one more time here just to give you an idea that this is the only area where we are tracking this at the moment. You can see that we do have mainly just spotty showers popping up in a few other areas back to the west. Here's one that has popped up in the western part of Martin County, and then back making your way to the west, as you can see, just to the north of Tarboro there. So it looks like that we do have that area with some showers popping back up. And as Grant mentioned a couple of minutes ago, that's something else that we'll certainly be watching for the next couple of hours with that tornado watch still in effect. Now, as you take a look back in the southeastern part of North Carolina, you can see that we do have, again, a few of those pop-up areas. And then as we actually back the picture out quite a bit here, you're going to see that we do have, as far as North and South Carolina, we do have just spotty showers again back into South Carolina as well. But the tornado warning runs for about 2 more minutes, and that is for the areas that we've been talking about, especially Terrell County and Hyde County, and that is the area also in the southeastern part of Washington County. But as this pushes off to the east at about 30 miles per hour, we'll continue to see that push on through. In fact, you can see most of the rain showers, even though the tornado warning still continues for southeastern Washington County. Most of the showers and storms now have moved out of that area and over mainly into Hyde and Terrell County at the moment. So this certainly could create a problem. Should it re-strengthen a little bit, but as of right now, looks like things are trying to quiet down a bit, and we certainly will be keeping an eye on that over the next few hours. But Grant, as we mentioned, we have that tornado watch that runs until 11 o'clock tonight. We saw that go out early this afternoon, then we started seeing these storms pop up. So don't let your guard down until things really do settle down. Again, any of those storms, if thunder roars, go indoors. You can see the area still under that tornado watch with the exception of Bertie County. And I do expect that we will see the potential of another storm or two to pop up before the evening is over. May be smaller, may not be as severe, but there is still that potential.
Yeah, like Donnie said, not all of us will see one. Many of us, it looks like, won't see one. However, any ones that do still could be pretty severe, especially areas who haven't seen much rainfall this evening. So the severe thunderstorm warning has been pushed again. The tornado warning still in place here until 7:30, and it does look like they will expire it here at 7:30. Which we have about 30 more seconds on that. Going to keep an eye out. It does look like the rotation has broadened a good bit. And as we are heading past sunset here, that is some good news. But still, again, as Donnie mentioned, tornado watch until 11 p.m. for all of Eastern Carolina. Have a way to get alerts, multiple ways to get alerts through 11 p.m., even up towards midnight. And we'll continue to keep an update on that. And as it looks, they did just expire that tornado warning in northwestern Hyde County, now a severe thunderstorm warning. Please be on the lookout for any gusty winds within that. But as for right now, we'll continue with our regularly scheduled programming.